Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be working with fractional constants of proportionality. So we're going to be finding a k, a constant of proportionality, that will be a fraction or a mixed number. Do now. Is the graph proportional? Write yes or no. Explain how you know. So for the do now, you need to write whether or not this graph, this graph, this graph, and this graph are proportional on these lines. And you need to explain your answer. Pause the video if you need more time to do this. So now we're going to go over this. Notice that this is a straight line and it goes through the origin, 0, 0. So we're going to say yes, it is a straight line and it goes through the origin. However, this graph is not a straight line. Even though it goes through the origin, it's not a straight line, so therefore we're going to say no, it's not a straight line. Now we're going to do this one. Notice that if we continue this line a little bit, it goes straight through the origin and it's a straight line. So we're going to say yes, it's a straight line. And it goes through the origin. Now we're going to take a look at this one. This one also is a straight line, and it goes through 0, 0, the origin. So we're going to say yes, it's a straight line, and it goes through the origin. Please don't forget to do your homework. You have a think through math. At this time, if you haven't done your think through math, you should take out your agenda and write down that you have homework. Okay, so let's read this problem. It says, students are responsible for providing snacks and drinks at the Junior Beta Club induction reception. Susan and Myra were asked to provide the punch for 100 students and family members who will attend the event. The chart below will help Susan and Myra determine the proportion of cranberry juice to sparkling water that will be needed to make the punch. Complete the chart and graph the data, and write the equation that models the proportional relationship. So first what we want to do is figure out what goes in this box. So in order to figure out what number I multiply here, I need to figure out what number I multiply here. So 1 times what number would give us 4/5? If you weren't sure of that, to find the k, we could use our formula. K equals y over x. In this case, the y is 4/5. We're going to put that over the x of 1. So anything over 1 is just itself, so we're going to wind up with 4/5. So 1 times 4/5 equals 4/5. So that means that's our constant of proportionality. So we have a fractional constant of proportionality, just like we said we would in the beginning. So we're going to multiply 8 times 4/5. 8 times 4/5. 8 times 4 is 32. That's over 5. And we can convert that into a mixed number, just like we have here. So let's convert that into a mixed number. How many times does 5 go into 32? Well, 5 into 30 would be 6 wholes, and then we're left over with 2 over 5. So 6 and 2/5. So now we're going to keep multiplying by the same constant of proportionality. Even though it's fractional, we can still multiply it. In this case, 50 and 5 have something in common, so we can cross them out. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. That completely cancels out. 50 divided by 5 is 10. So now we're going to multiply the 10 times the 4, and we'll get 40. Same thing with the 100 and the 4 and the 5. You can probably doing this on your own. Pause the video if you need more time to complete this, or keep watching to find out the answer. 5 and 100 have something in common. It's 5, so 100 divided by 5 is 20. And 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we don't need to write the 1. Now we're going to multiply straight across. 20 times 4 is 80. So in this example, what was the unit rate? What was the number that we multiplied by each time, or the constant of proportionality? In this case, it was k equaled 4/5. Each time we multiplied by 4/5. Now it's going to ask us to write an equation. So to write an equation, we use y equals kx, and we just fill in the k. Y equals 4/5 x. And there's our answer for that. Is it proportional? Why or why not? So let's take a look at this graph. Is this a straight line? Yes, it's a straight line. Is it through the origin? Yes, it's through the origin. So in this case, is it proportional? Yes, it's proportional. So we would say yes, it's a straight line that goes through the origin. And now it says, if you used 100 cups of sparkling water, how much cranberry juice should you use? So let's take a look at the table, because the graph doesn't go up that high. The graph doesn't go up to 100 cups of sparkling water. It only goes up to 14. So now let's take a look right here. So if we have 100 cups of sparkling water, how much cranberry juice would that be? So in this case, the column and the row line up to 80. So that would be 80 cups of cranberry juice. How much sparkling water would you use for 4 cups of cranberry juice? So now let's take a look at 4 cups of cranberry juice. So if we follow this along, this is where you would sing the song, and it would end up right here in between 4 and 6, so that would be 5. So let's just double check that by our table. So they were asking 4 cups of cranberry juice would be how much sparkling water? Well, 4 cups of cranberry juice means 5 cups of sparkling water would be needed. So let's write that. You would need 5 cups of sparkling water. Pause the video if you need more time to copy. Okay, so example 2 says, organic cooking. After taking a cooking class, you decide to try out your new cooking skills by preparing a meal for your family. You have chosen a recipe that uses an organic mushroom mix as the main ingredient. Using the graph below, complete the table of values and answer the following questions. So we have 0, 0. It tells us maybe it will be proportional if it's a straight line, because it goes through the origin. We have 1/2 and 4, 1 and some unknown number. That's going to be our unit rate. 1.5 and 12, some unknown number and 16, and 2 1/4 and 18. If you can fill out this table and the rest of the sheet on your own, please do so now. If not, keep watching. So now what we're going to do to find the constant of proportionality is K equals Y over X. So K equals, let's take the Y of 4 and put it over the X of 1/2. Now 4 is right now, it's not a fraction, but we can make it into a fraction by putting it over 1. Let's write this division symbol. And let's write down that 1/2 right there. Now we're going to keep the first fraction the way it is. Change this to a times and flip the second fraction. Let's do that. So 4 over 1 stays the way it is. Change the division symbol to a times. And then we're going to flip the second one. So in this case, the constant of proportionality is going to be 8. 8 over 1 is just 8. So each time we're going to be multiplying by 8. 0 times 8 is 0. 1/2 times 8, if we have 8 halves, we're going to have 4. 1 times 8 is 8. 1.5 times 8 is 12. Some number times 8 would be 16. So that's going to be 2. And 2.5 times 8. 2 1/4 times 8 is going to be 18. Okay, so now we need to graph these points. 0, 0 is going to be right here. 1/2 in the weight in pounds of the mushroom purchased. So that's going to be 1/2 or 0.5. That's right there. Comma 4 is going to be right here. So those two lines intersect right there. 1, 8. That's our unit rate. 1, 8. There's a point right there. 1.5 would be 1.5, 12 would be right here. 2, 16. And 2 1/4 is going to be in between 2 and 2.5 because 1/4 is half of 50 cents. And that's going to be 18. That's why we put that point there. And then we just connect all the points in a nice straight line. And we have a graph. And again, if you can do the rest of the sheet independently, please do that now. If not, keep watching. So now the unit rate. Let's figure out the unit rate. The unit rate